From Storm Tracker 6, this is Forecast First, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
It's been a gorgeous day across mid-Michigan. Notice up in St. John still dealing with dry conditions and widespread sunshine right now. That's the case across mid-Michigan as a whole, but notice on satellite and radar a little bit of precipitation starting to move into our west over towards Green Bay and Milwaukee. That will be moving into our region overnight tonight. Temperature-wise, most of us currently sitting in the mid to low 60s, the exception 68 degrees for their current temperature in Hastings. A few isolated sprinkles will be possible as we kick off our Friday. A better chance for rain moving in over the weekend. 6 News at 5 starts right now.
WLNS is here for you, celebrating 75 years of bringing you the news with 6 News at 5.
Republicans rolled out a new idea in the nation's capital to try to fund parts of the government during the shutdown. It's our top story at 5. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jorma Duran. It's the first new spending measure to come to the floor since the shutdown started 16 days ago. Erica Brown is here for you now with the details.
The Senate took a procedural vote on a bill that would fund the Pentagon and pay U.S. service members during the shutdown, but failed to get the votes needed to move forward with the legislation.
The motion is not agreed to.
Earlier Thursday, lawmakers tried for a 10th time to advance a Republican short-term spending bill to end the shutdown.
It would take just a handful of Democrats to reopen the government.
Senate Republicans continue to do the same exact thing and expect different results. That's the classic definition of legislative insanity.
Democrats insist any deal must include an extension of Affordable Care Act tax credits, but say Republicans are refusing to negotiate.
Leader Thune has not come to me with any proposal at this point.
Republicans say reopening the government should come first.
We're not conducting negotiations in a hostage situation.
Now, President Trump has said he plans to use this shutdown to slash the size of government by firing thousands of government workers. But a legal challenge from employee unions has put those plans on hold. Federal Judge Susan Ilston issued a temporary restraining order Wednesday, writing, "It is also far from normal for an administration to fire line-level civilian employees during a government shutdown as a way to punish the opposing political party. But this is precisely what President Trump has announced he is doing."
This is another far-left partisan judge who was smacked down by the Supreme Court in July for ruling on this exact same thing.
Unions representing federal workers who filed suit called the layoff plans unprecedented and unlawful. Erica Brown, CBS News, the White House.
We're here for you now with new reaction from Michigan lawmakers about the ongoing federal government shutdown. 6 News spoke with both a Republican and Democrat who represent Michigan in the nation's capital. Reporter Sean Graney joined us now live in the studio to share with us what they said. Good afternoon, Sean.
Jorma, from paychecks to public programs, Representatives Haley Stevens and Tom Barrett say the shutdown is starting to take a toll on families, but they say they disagree on what's needed to end it.
This has been a tough year. There's been a lot of chaos and confusion.
It's day 16 and counting of the federal shutdown. Here in Michigan, Democratic Representative Haley Stevens says she's focused on making sure the budget addresses the needs of Michiganders, especially regarding the cost of living.
It is going to require bipartisan cooperation, and the request to just stand up for Michigan families and the pocketbooks of families has been made very clear.
Republican Congressman Tom Barrett says he's talked with people in his district that have been hurt by the shutdown. He argues the best solution to help Michigan is for the Senate to pass the House bill.
Throughout our economy as this endures longer, and my advice is certainly contact our members of the Senate, our 2 United States senators, and tell them to reopen the government. The ball is really in their hands to be able to do that. They're capable of voting to reopen the government.
Stevens says before that happens, Congress needs to address healthcare costs.
They're putting the tax breaks on billionaires and corporations ahead of families in Michigan, and it's not acceptable to see this cost of living crisis balloon out of control. And it's going to get even worse if we don't address these rising costs on healthcare.
But Barrett says what his party is proposing is nothing new, just an extension.
We're saying, hey, let's take an extra 2 months. We'll continue funding at the current level. The Democrats have already voted for this multiple times already. And instead of not even voting for this, they're blocking it from even taking effect or having a vote. So
For our full uncut interview with both lawmakers, you can find those over on our website, WLNS.com.
Sean, thank you, and be sure to stay with 6 News on air, online, and through our 6 News app for the latest on the government shutdown. In continuing coverage, many experts believe the future of EV production in Lansing is seriously in doubt, and here's why. General Motors is set to take a $1.6 billion hit in the next quarter because EV sales are projected to plummet. Last month, the federal government revoked a $7,500 tax credit option meant to encourage the sale of electric cars, and there are reports that the Trump administration could cancel $500 million in financial assistance that was promised, earmarked to help the Grand River Assembly retool to make EVs. Automotive analyst Matt Hardigree tells 6 News these changes are going to be felt across the car industry and here in mid-Michigan.
In the short term, what we're seeing is that a lot of automakers are pulling back from investments that they were planning to make in electric cars because they assumed there would be this very quick ramp up in acceptance and switchover in electric car purchases. That hasn't really come to fruition. I think that it's likely that this $500 million will not be spent, either because the Department of Energy is going to cut this program or because GM, looking at what the prospects are down the line, will decide it's not worth fighting for. So I think that it's very much at risk.
GM has announced it will continue to make at least one gas-powered car at the assembly, with the promise that the Cadillac CT5 will get a new generation after the current one ends production in 2026. A multi-city initiative exposing the harms of solitary confinement made its way to Lansing today. Organizers of the Journey to Justice tour say it features a model of a solitary cell, immersive experiences, and spoken word performances by survivors and local advocates.
So it tells that story, the real toll to human suffering that happens inside our correctional system. And we believe there's a better way to incarcerate and a better way to address disciplinary issues that occur while incarcerated.
The Journey for Justice tour will be in Ann Arbor on Friday.
From Storm Tracker 6, this is Weather First, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
Hopefully you're able to spend some time outside today and soak up all of the dry weather, sunshine, and warm temperatures that we were treated to across mid-Michigan, because we are gearing up for some changes. Notice a lot of rainfall in the forecast over the course of the next 5 days, a pretty decent amount. Some areas in mid-Michigan could be picking up over 2 inches of rain over the course of the next 5 days. Now, our first batch of rain is actually going to be moving in overnight tonight. A few isolated sprinkles going to be possible across the region, but only a trace amount of precipitation is expected from that. Notice as we move into the weekend, a more widespread and soaking rainfall will be on the way for our region. This system going to start to move in by the time we hit late Saturday afternoon, giving us the chance for a couple of scattered showers and thunderstorms. Notice we're holding on to that precipitation all day on Sunday. And then even after this system exits, it does look like it will bring a cooler air mass into the region, which could allow for a couple of lake effect rain showers as we move into our Tuesday. Now, satellite and radar still shows that we are smooth sailing for the rest of this evening. We have dry and mostly sunny conditions outside right now, and we'll hold on to these dry conditions as we go throughout the rest of the evening. By right around 2-3 o'clock tomorrow morning, we'll add in the chance for a couple of very light sprinkles across mid-Michigan. Most of this activity will exit by the time we hit daybreak on Friday. Most of our rainfall totals only amounting to a few hundredths of an inch of precipitation. Even though we are going to be dry throughout our Friday, notice a lot more in the way of cloud cover in the forecast for our region. Very similar situation as we kick off our Saturday. Dry and mostly cloudy conditions expected. And then late Saturday afternoon, starting right around 4 or 5 o'clock, we'll add in the chance for a couple of scattered showers and thunderstorms. More widespread soaking rainfall will be moving in Saturday night, and it will continue throughout our Sunday as well. In the meantime, though, we still have a gorgeous evening to enjoy. Outside right now, we have widespread sunshine here in the city of Lansing. Your current and high temperature both sitting at 63 degrees. This morning it was quite chilly. We woke up to readings generally in the mid to upper 30s. 30s across the area, with a few patches of frost across mid-Michigan as well. Live look over in Grand Ledge made it up to a high of 65 degrees today, a few degrees above average for this time of year, and that peak wind gust only up to 3 miles per hour. So overall, incredibly pleasant conditions for our Thursday. We're at 63 degrees for your current and high temperature over in Jackson, and our final stop in Hillsdale. Nothing but sunshine outside right now. That peak wind gust 11 miles per hour with your high temperature of 62 degrees. This morning, we cooled down into the upper 30s. Now we're increasing cloud cover across the area tonight. Again, a few isolated sprinkles possible very early Friday morning. Since we're increasing our cloud cover temperature-wise, we're only cooling down into the mid-40s. For tomorrow, we'll spend the day under mostly cloudy skies, highs near 67. We are even warmer for Saturday. First half of the day is still going to be pretty nice, a high of 73 degrees. After that, a cooler air mass moves in. Mid-50s for highs on Tuesday, a couple of lake effect rain showers across the area, and we're still going to be fairly cool even as we move into late next week. Notice those overnight lows, upper 30s to low 40s.
Yeah, I saw that. I also saw that we upped the temperature for tomorrow, on Saturday to 73. Yeah. That may make it a little bit more unstable, correctly, to make a storm.
Yeah, so a couple of, just a general rumble of thunder will be possible.
Yeah.
No severe weather expected, thankfully.
Good. Okay, we appreciate it.